Hey guys, your cruise cabin is your home away from home when you're on a cruise vacation. And these are the things that you're going to want to know about before you board that ship. Stay tuned. Hey, I am Casey from Park and Palm Travel. Thanks so much for watching our video today. Today we're going to be talking about your cruise cabin and everything that you're going to want to know before walking into that cabin. Before we get into all of that, I want to thank all of you who have subscribed to this community. I love having you here. If you're not a member and you would like to travel, you like seeing cruise tips, or you're just interested in some cruise or travel deals, go ahead and turn that notification bell on. I would be so appreciative of your continued presence in our community. And while you're down there, go ahead and push that like button as well. It really does help with the algorithm. It helps push this out to people who could benefit from travel advice, who want more information, and then it helps us to be able to continue to bring you more information day to day. All right, thanks so much. Now, let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about those cruise cabins and what you can expect when you board the ship. All right, guys, tip number one, when you get on your ship, some cruise lines will allow this, some don't, but they might allow you immediate access to your cabin. If they do allow you access to your cabin, take it, go there, drop off your belongings, drop off your suitcase, and then this will allow you to roam freely around the ship. In some instances, when you arrive to the cruise port, there will be attendants there who are taking your big pieces of luggage, and you'll have a tag on them, and those will get delivered directly to your room. If that's the case, you always want to have a small bag that's separate that includes all of the things that you need to start your vacation. So maybe a swimsuit or a cover-up, your important documentation, that sort of thing. If that's the case, it's still good to be able to go to your room, drop off anything that you don't need, and just take your purse or your clutch or whatever so that you can roam freely. All right, now when you get back into that cabin, you might look around and say, oh my God, like where am I gonna fit all of this stuff? And I want you to take a breath. These cabins are all designed with storage space that are designed to get your bags out of the way. Even the little vanity seat over by the mirror might have a removable cushion so that you can add some personal items to it. That's just an example, but there's all sorts of nooks and crannies to use. So get familiar with your room, utilize these spaces. The best hidden space to me is under the beds. They're typically high enough where you can unpack and then you can slide your empty suitcase underneath the bed and it gets right out of the way. You don't have to worry about it. And you don't have to worry about taking up the very valuable closet space. You should be able to find plenty of space in your room, especially if there's just two of you. If there's more, like 3 or 4 people in a cabin, then it's obviously going to get a little bit tighter, but you should be able to find space for everything. All right, so the cabin usually comes with a decent amount of hangers, but if you're like me and you want to unpack everything immediately and you want the wrinkles to be released, hang them up, get those wrinkles out, don't be afraid to ask your cabin attendant if they have more hangers you can use. And speaking of wrinkles, the cruise lines usually offer a laundry service for an additional charge. I like to find the form in my room or request it from the attendant immediately so that I can request that my clothes be ironed out for the remainder of the cruise. It could take them somewhere up to 24 hours or more to get these items back to you. So it's important for you to keep some clothes for that night and the next day so that you're not going without. You're also going to find a very small safe in your cabin, and more than likely it's going to be in the closet. There's always clear directions and instructions on how to use the safe, and I do highly suggest that you keep any of your valuables, your important cruise documentation, money, credit cards, small high-tech items, jewelry, anything like that, keep that in your safe. It's just the smartest way to travel and then less for you to worry about. All right, so now if you happen to be going on an older vessel, you'll notice that there might not be as many USB outlets. Some of the new ships might not even have them at all. So USB-A connectors are more common in cabins than USB-C connectors. So if you need to charge with a USB-C, make sure that you bring your own block or whatever you need to ensure that you can get all of everything you need charged up. If you have a lot of devices that you want to charge, you might want to invest in a powered USB hub. This way you'll be covered no matter what. electricity and power outlets in general, there just aren't going to be a lot of outlets in your room, maybe 3 or 4 tops. My family of 3 usually gets by just fine with limited devices, but if you have several devices, you might want to consider bringing something along. There are some ways that you can get around this if you need some additional power in the cabin. There are some power strips that you can purchase that are cruise approved, but be careful because there are strips that will be confiscated if they are not cruise approved. For example, a regular extension cord would not be approved, and that would be confiscated if they found it in your bags. So it's important to look up the difference. In addition, you'll probably also see some European outlets in your room. There are plenty of power converter options that you can consider purchasing as well that will plug into a European outlet but give you the multiple US outlet options. All right, so let's switch over. Let's talk about cleanup. One of the next things that you're going to notice when you get into your cabin is that it's designed for quick and easy cleanup. For example, you're not seeing fancy paint and wallpaper on the walls. You're pretty much in a cute metal box. And one of the fun things about living in a metal box for a week is that you can put magnets on them to decorate for special occasions or just create a fun activity for the kids or some, homely decorations. You can also add magnetic hooks to the walls that I like to add for storage. You might want to purchase some 100-pound magnetic hooks to throw on the wall for things such as beach bags, pocketbooks, hats, whatever you want to use. It's easy access, and then it doesn't take up that storage space that you need so desperately to accommodate other things. All right, let's talk about the bed configurations now. So in most cases, there are 2 twin beds in a stateroom, and they would convert into one queen bed by just pushing them together. If you get into your stateroom and you notice that it's a queen bed but you wanted 2 twins or vice versa, don't sweat it, don't worry about it. Your stateroom attendant can easily push them together or separate them. So just request that of them if you found that it was put together incorrectly. So one thing that you might be thinking is, okay, well, if it's 2 twin beds together, isn't there going to be a divot in the middle? And yes, that would make sense. However, the attendants do put a topper on the bed that kind of seals that, and it makes that divot less noticeable. You can't really feel it, and I've never had any issues with it, so don't let that concern you. If it does concern you once you're sleeping and it's bothering you, you can request a topper, and if they have one, I'm sure it's based on availability, but if they have one, your attendants are always there to make your cruise comfortable for you, so don't be afraid to ask. All right, so as you investigate your room further, you're going to find a mini fridge somewhere hidden in the room. It usually looks like it's hidden in a desk or between some dressers, drawers, and these refrigerators might be stocked with some beverage items depending on your cruise. Maybe it's empty, but be sure to know whether or not these items are included in your already paid price or if they are extra. You do not want an additional surprise bill at the end of your cruise. The refrigerators themselves are not very powerful, and the items aren't going to stay super duper cold. So if you have medication that needs to be kept at a certain temperature and you don't feel that the mini fridge is going to cut it, be sure to talk to your stateroom attendant and request that they provide something for you so that your medication can be stored at that specific temperature. They'd be happy to help. All right, next thing I want to talk about are balcony cabins. For those of you who booked balcony or above, these are my favorite rooms for my family of 3. I do have a 12-year-old. If you are traveling with a little one, you might be nervous about staying in a balcony. We took our daughter in balcony cabins as early as 5 years old, I believe was her first one. And there was that extra added security there for me because there are child locks on the doors. So they're not just able to open the door freely whenever they want. There is some sort of extra mechanism added to the door for that added safety. So one thing to keep in mind though is when you're in a balcony room, you have all of this air coming in, right? And then when you open the cabin stateroom door, it's like a tube of wind that rushes through. So anything that you have laying around, papers, whatever, those can go flying, or that stateroom door can slam really hard. I'm sure you've had something similar like this happen at your own house. So just keep that in mind, that if you are in a balcony room and you're keeping that door open to have some fresh air come in, just be careful about that cabin room door staying closed, or just being aware if it's opening not to allow it to slam on any little fingers. Also, when you have that balcony door open, a lot of the cruise lines have the AC power automatically turned off, so you're not going to be able to keep your room cool. It's just going to get a little bit warmer in there and maybe not be as comfortable. So definitely let the breeze come in, but if you want to keep a cooler room, then you might want to consider not allowing that door to be open for very long. All right, so let's discuss your TV. I have people ask me all the time, is there going to be a TV in the room? What kind of channels can I expect on the TV? And the answer is that it's extremely limited. Yes, you're going to have a TV, but not a lot of channels. There will be cruise-specific channels where they'll put up itineraries or information about the ship in general. They might have messages from your cruise director or the captain, and even put up your account so that you can see what charges you have incurred so far throughout your cruise. But there really are only a few other channels. If you're expecting to have specific cartoons or movies for your kids, or you want to watch something in particular when you're falling asleep at night, I suggest that you download those items before you leave your house so that you can watch them on an iPad of some sort or your phone, rather than needing to have it on the TV. Now, another thing that you are going to notice when you get into your cabin is the light switch beside the door. You might find that there is a master switch where you need to leave your key card inserted into it. It kind of looks like the door lock that you usually find on a hotel door, and that controls all of the electricity to the room. So, and sometimes you'll notice that if you have the key card in there, then you're allowed to have electricity in the room, and if your key card is out, then it turns off everything. There are probably other switches around the room and in the bathroom that might be connected to this master switch. So before you go to bed on night one, you might want to just play around with the switches to determine how to turn the bathroom light on without blinding your entire family by turning everything on all at once. All right, so let's shift to discussing the bathroom in your cabin. Unless you have booked some sort of suite, the chances are that you're going to have a very small bathroom, and it does serve its purpose, but it's going to fit one person at a time. So if maybe you're a bigger guy or whatever, and you are not comfortable in this size shower, there is an alternative. I've heard some people like to go to the fitness center, and then maybe after a workout, or even if they're not working out, they can use the showers there, which are larger. You just throw some flip-flops on and take your clothes down, and you can shower there. But for my family, it's worked just fine for all three of us. I haven't had complaints from clients about how small it is. Just know that it's, not a walk-in shower. It's just a small one-person type situation, and it's just going to be sufficient for what you need. You might be wondering what kind of amenities that you can expect in your bathroom, and that's a really good question, because I strongly recommend that you pack as lightly as you can for your cruise stay. You'll find shampoo, conditioner, and body wash hanging on the walls in the shower stall. It is possible, however, that the shampoo and conditioner are combined into one. So if that's a problem for you, be sure to bring some travel size bottles of your own so that you aren't wasting your much needed space in the shower. You'll also find a hairdryer somewhere in your stateroom, whether it's hiding in a bag in the closet or attached to your bathroom wall. There will be an outlet in the bathroom, but you might have to look around. I've actually seen them like under the vanity, and I've seen them on the ceilings. It's weird, but there will be something there if you need to plug in an electric razor of some sort. So they do provide you with bath mats and some towels. They give you washcloths, but I do find that they really do provide you with the most minimal amount, and I like to have a few extras on hand in case I need them along the way. So I always like to request a few more from my stateroom attendant as soon as I get there. You can also tell them, like, hey, I'd rather have 2 per person every day if you could provide me with that when cleaning my room. All right, so there you go, guys. These are the things that you need to know about your cabin when you board your cruise ship. I hope you enjoyed watching our video today. If you did, again, please go and give us that big thumbs up. It really does help that YouTube algorithm, and it helps get this out to the people who need to see it. Also, if you haven't become a member yet and you would benefit from travel tips and tricks like these, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Turn on that notification bell. We would love to have you as a part of our community. Thanks so much for doing this for me. It really means a lot. And if you have any thoughts or questions about this video, go ahead and leave your comments below. I really do appreciate your feedback. Finally, if you're hoping to connect with a travel advisor to make your trips easier and more enjoyable, I'd love to be that person to assist you. Just reach out and we would be happy to get started planning your next vacation. Until next time, this is Casey with Park and Palm Travel, hoping that you are creating memories one trip at a time.